One, two, one, two, check. Mic check, one, two, one, two. We are now live in the building, the Glocawear radio station, which streams 24 hours a day. I'm just doing a mic check right now on the equipment, you know. Salute to DJ Nate G's, he been rocking all day. God damn it. Salute to the king, DJ Nate G's. Follow him on Instagram. He's available for all bookings. Wolo music. But right now, man, we got tragedy in the building, man. We're gonna try to get him up here, talk some knowledge. My name is 2K and Sam. Shout out to RPX. Shout out to LC Designs. Shout out Nelly Yoga, the chef. Everybody that's rocking with us right now, man. Salute, salute, salute. You already know. Like I said before, we trying to get Tragedy to slide up. You can download the Glocawear Radio app or visit Glocawear.com. We stream 24 hours a day. You can check DJ Nate G's out on Fridays, Flyboy Friday, Fly Girl Friday. Plus, he also has mixes on Thinking Outside the Box and Authentic Philosophies. Nate, you everywhere, man. What's your Instagram?
At DJ Nate 215. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Wolo Music, man. He's an extraordinary DJ. If you need a booking, hit him up. Glocawear Radio, man. You know what I'm saying? We got Tragedy in the building, man. This is hey man, this is a blessing, man. You know what I mean? Without a question. Have a seat, King.
Right here?
Yep. Any one of them.
All right,
you know what I mean?
take the middle.
Say no more. You can put the earphones on if you want. If not, it's cool.
Yeah, I'll throw them on.
You know what I mean? I'm going to just get a mic check on your mic real quick.
1, 2, 1, 2.
All right. You sound good.
Everything gracious?
Everything is gracious, my guy.
That's what's up, my guy.
All right.
Let me turn my phone on. Oh, man, hold on. Yeah. Turn that off for a second, respectfully, you all right?
No, without a question.
Respectfully.
The other mic Shab is right here. So, man, like I said before, thanks a lot for sliding through, man.
No, thank you, brother.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank the whole Philly, too, man. I was supposed to pull up yesterday. Couldn't connect, but I connected today and made sure I pulled up, made sure I came, man. Made sure I came to touch the people.
No, that's dope. Definitely appreciate you, man. You know, cause niggas was on my neck, Trag. Like where the boy at?
You know what? As to be expected. You know what I mean? So that's why I made sure I got here today, man. You know, and whatever it took, I had to get here, man. You know, I missed that flight yesterday, man. So I was coming from a whole other side of the earth. But no excuses. I don't make excuses, man. So we here. We in the now, right now. We synced up. And it's all good energy, man. Salute to Philly, man. Salute to the whole Philly. I actually been coming out here for years on the low. People won't know. I gotta send a great, gracious honorarium to my brother Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, what up? That's my guy.
AKA Jinx. He done had me out in Logan for years, brother. For years. I've been coming out here for 30 years on the low. Word.
That's good shit.
Without a question.
Word.
So, hey man, 33 years. Intelligent hoodlum, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that just sparked the just interest in me to tap in with you. You know what I mean? So congratulations on that, man. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
I gotta congratulate all of us on that because that was like an opening for everybody. As I got opened on certain things, I had to open the people on it too. Like, a lot of times we be in the dark, especially coming up off these streets, and we don't have access or we're not privy to certain information. And a lot of times that's to a default because it comes back to hurt us and harm us because we miss out on growth and development. You know what I'm saying? And once I got hit with certain information and I realized the stages and levels of value of our people, we not just killers and shooters and gangsters and, street merchants. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's, those are factors that exist too, but we're a lot more than what we even realize, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's important to me, man. That's real important to me.
That's what's up. When you did your first album, well, what made you rap? I know you. Go ahead. Who inspired you to put the pen to the pad?
Man, it was key moments. Like I don't believe people live. People really live in moments to me. You know what I'm saying? Like we exist in between them, but we live in moments. Like you know how they say Jesus got revelations and all that.
Uh-huh.
You get moments where you become open and receptive to certain things. And you know, I came outside in Queensbridge and I looked around. You can hear me clear?
Yeah, I got you.
Make sure this thing right.
No, you good.
I came outside on the block and I looked around. You know, you look around, you learn from the world around you. So you know, I was young and I came outside and I looked around. And I was like, damn, you know, you see dudes playing ball and doing other activities, and I just looked around and I didn't see where I fit in. I saw that I could survive amongst it, but I didn't see where I fit in. Nothing spoke to me. Nothing spoke in me. And when I heard the message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Melly Mel and all them, that shit really touched me. You know what I'm saying? When you
Right.
like, a child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too. I was a youngin' and that shit was like, yo, I understand what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? And that verse
Okay.
or that record initially really sparked my love for hip hop. I realized that I had a voice in that, you know, as it related to my life, because I was going through things at home with my parents. You know what I'm saying? Bless them. Bless both of them. You know what I'm saying? But I was going through things within my cycle of life, and I related to that song, God smiling on you, but he's frowning too. And that's how I felt. I felt like, yo, God's frowning on me because I see everybody else around me laughing and living, and they all happy and shit. I don't feel like that. I don't feel happy. I don't understand this type of shit I'm living in and why I gotta live in it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we surpass that and we realize, you know, life has a different, you know, realities and roles for people. But to, you know, fully answer your question, that was what spoke to me. I believe, you know, you don't necessarily always choose your path per se. I hope it's coming out right. But your path will choose you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to say, I didn't choose the streets chose me. You know what I'm saying? Musically, music chose me because I felt comfortable in music. I felt alive with music. I felt free with music. I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel ridiculed. I didn't feel stained or scarred with music. Once I heard music that I love, it embraced me. I embraced it, and I felt like I was in a holy temple or something when I heard certain records. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm a circle of block, man, because this is important to me. It wasn't always hip hop. It would be like "Glow of Love" by Luther Vandross. Do 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 do. I felt like God was walking with me when I heard that record. You know, that's how good it felt. You know, and that's what music should be to me. It should make you feel
It's
good.
a feeling, right?
It should invoke emotions and feelings and, you know, things in you. And but it was a little later when I decided that I was an MC, and that was I got to shout out my brother Shane, Big Daddy Kane's little brother. That's my man.
Little Daddy Shane.
Yeah, that's my doobie. He's the one dude who kind of like pinpointed my style. Nobody ever really pinpointed my style but him, and I was like, oh shit, you got it, you figured it out. It was LL when he made Rock the Bells. You remember that song, Rock the Bells?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, I'm an old head in the room and shit amongst all y'all youngins.
Come on, man. Come on,
My
man.
bro over there laughing. He like,
Come
nigga,
on,
he
man.
like, man, I'm the same age or older than
Word-
you.
word
I
to
just had
mama.
to say that, man. I know I'm amongst my
I'm a
peers.
youngin.
Yeah, I'm a youngin too. We all youngins. Hip hop keep us young.
Your hip hop kid was young.
It's good food. LL had a record called Rock the Bells, but it wasn't the Rick Rubin produced version with the and that was dope. But he had another version,
Right.
an original version with a cowbell.
Yeah, with them bells.
Right, right,
Exactly.
And he had
Yeah.
an extended version because I think he had 4 verses on that. And I remember when I heard that shit. Oh, you heard?
Yes, sir.
Shit.
Fuck.
Damn.
I need a Bentley truck.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I remember when I heard it, I was in Astoria Projects, which is the neighboring projects, the Queensbridge Projects. Had no business out there. I was probably about 12, 13 or something like that. It was late. I was at a jam in the center, and they had 2 big speakers right by the door, right? And I remember I remember what I had on. I had a leather bubble goose on. Yeah, give it to me. That's right. I had a leather bubble goose on. I had a feline warm up suit. I had my little Kango on and shit. And I got up in the speaker, like right next to the speaker, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, yo, you can do that? Like you can use these words.
Put it together.
Cause I was the kid, I'd be on the block, right? I'd be on the block, and I have something in my pocket I ain't gonna talk about. And I would have a book too. You know, Roxanne always said that about me. She'd be like, he'd be the kid on the street, but he had a book. And I would hide the book. Cause back then, like, it wasn't cool to be reading and shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas would fuck with you cause you read and shit. Like, you know, backwards dumb shit.
Yeah, why is that right?
Yeah, it was just backwards shit. So I would be the kid that would dip off and y'all gotta go and shit. And then I go read some shit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I would dumb my language down because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't socially acceptable. It wasn't amongst my environment. It wasn't cool. It wasn't popping. So when I heard L use this, he had such a vast vernacular, and his articulation and enunciation was just so on point, but it was aggressive. Like usually when you heard a dude on some education shit, he was like, yeah, you know, sound like he rhymed from a textbook. But L sounded like a fucking panther. He sounded like a predator. You know what I'm saying? Like a fucking carnivore. And I was like, yo, that's me. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like those words. I like to use those words. You know what I'm saying? I was always a little nigga shooting my shit. You know what I'm saying? And my pop's friends getting money from him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but I felt that aggression and it felt good. And once I got put onto that, man, like it was no looking back. I became a totally immersed student to that. You know what I mean? And again, like it was a different time. It was a great time because, you know, when we think of, you know, with the 50th anniversary of hip hop passing, you know, I remember looking at a Time Life article, and them saying it's a passing fad. I remember actually picking up that magazine and going, fuck out of here, this shit is gonna be forever. But I didn't really know it. I just felt it. So now to be at a half a century, a half a deck, it's like, you know, we at a half a man, but it's a beautiful thing because I grown through that. I grew in stages and all that through it.
So that leads me into my question. How did you know that Intelligent Hoodlum had etched this stone into like hip hop classics? Like, you know what I'm saying? When you was like, hold on, this might not be the ordinary jump off. Like, you know what I mean?
Honestly, man, for me, you don't really know at the time. Most of the time when you're doing something and you coming from your heart and you being, you know, you're being sincere with it, you're not even looking at it from that angle. You know, I looked at it from an angle of, yo, I did some shit in the street. You know, I stole and I did things I'm not necessarily proud of, you know, in my life, but I did it. I feel I did it for cause. I didn't do it just because, right?
Known in the building.
So, Big No, what's up? He popped up. He didn't want me to give him that tag. Oh, yo, you ain't come. You wasn't gonna give me that. So, yeah, peace to my brother No, man. So I looked at it like, yo, man, you know, I went to prison. You know, I was 16 when I went to a Max 8 prison. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I looked at it like, all right, you know, I had to so-called pay a debt to society because I violated the law and regulations of the law. And, you know, there's a debt and a price for that. And that price was my time being incarcerated according to the stipulations of the law. So, you know, if I sell a drug or rob someone, it's a crime, right? So I thought to myself, you know, learning certain things about the world, I'm like, okay, the president is the chief executive officer of the nation. And if I'm responsible as a person for my acts, and he's the chief of the nation, then shouldn't he be responsible for the nation's acts? If the nation is committing crimes or wrongdoing against people or against law, shouldn't he be accountable, being the head of it? And if I have to go to prison, shouldn't he at least be highlighted for his crimes? And then I started finding, you know, I'm innocent. I'm 18. I thought blacks just, sold drugs, shot niggas, and, got money. I really thought that. I really was that ignorant. I didn't know about, the richness of our history in terms of, social and political activism and things like that. I didn't know anything about that, bro. So when I came home from prison, I don't know if people over here heard of, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all heard of Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box.
Right, yeah.
I remember when I went away, you had little joints that was out and shit. But when I came home, I came home with a BVD on. You know what a BVD is? A thin little nylon shits.
Right.
I went away. I was 16. I went through puberty in jail. You know what I'm saying? So when I came home, I come home with a BVD on, the state green pants on, the boots in a bag, a plastic bag full of some other shit. As soon as I walk in my man's crib, it's video. He would tape Video Music Box. So he taped the episode, and it had the video of Public Enemy's Night of the Living Bassheads.
Right.
And when I saw that shit, I was like, oh shit. Now, I grew up in the quote-unquote crack era. One of, to me, the most genocidal eras after slavery. You know what I'm saying? So I escaped a lot of things. And I'm going to tell you straight up, like, when I first sold crack, the police ran down on me.
Right.
They emptied my pockets. And they basically kicked me in my ass and was like, get the fuck out of here. Mind you, I had 1,000 capsules on me, like, because when I first sold crack, they didn't even know what crack was. When I first sold crack, the police didn't even know what it fucking was. They was like, what the fuck is this? They just threw it on the floor and was kicking it around. So when I went away, it was, we didn't really see the aftermath of crack. Like when I was younger and I saw the consequences and the aftermath of heroin. The effect that it had on my moms and pops and uncles and, everybody. So, it was a new drug. Just like you got new drugs, ecstasy basically and designer drugs,
Right.
We don't know the effects it'll have on us psychologically and physically right now. It could have effects 10 years from now that we just don't have any knowledge of because we are in it, so to speak. Anyway, let me get a little water. Bear with me. So now, when I come home and I see the Night of the Living Bassheads video, and I see like a woman, it was a woman I loved as a child, a baby. She was my nursery teacher, and her name was Miss Barbara. And when Miss Barbara got up to leave out, I would run out my seat and go open the door for her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just look at her like, Miss Barbara. I didn't know what I would do to her, but I just thought Miss Barbara was the most beautiful black woman I ever seen in my life. She looked like a black Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when I came home and I'm on the block talking to my man, rest in peace, he's talking to me. He's like, yo, you wanna fuck around? I'm like, what you mean? Like, he was like soliciting Miss Barbara to me. And when she came over and I said, Miss Barbara. And she was like, don't call me that. She started crying. But these are the effects that the crack had while I was gone.
Right.
And before I left, let me keep it real. We used to put it in our blunts. We was selling it. We didn't know what the fuck. That's prison kind of saved me in a sense.
Right.
Because when I came home and I saw, I was like, oh, that's Miss Barbara. I'm like, nah, man, yo, give her what she want. Just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it fucking hurt me.
Oh.
That's what we doing over here at Glocawear. We bust down the door with this real hip hop shit. Listen. Anyway, long story longer. I went in the crib. I saw this video. And to me, he was coming from a totally different lane, perspective, and angle, like, in terms of, like, what the effects of the drugs is having on in the hood and everything. And that really kind of sparked Intelligent Hoodlum. That right there sparked Intelligent Hoodlum.
Okay.
So just, I'm taking you through the whole sequence of shit. Because prior to that, I was making records like Live Motivator and, the Rebel is here and shit like that. Because I was in the streets, but I was putting out records since I was like 12. You know what I'm saying? So, because a lot of people like, yo, you changed your name and this and that because they don't understand the stages of life I went through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got woke the fuck up and was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, and then when I started Marley ran up on me and shit when I came home, and he was like, yo, you was writing? Yo, you got some shit? I know you got some shit. And I never forget, because when I left...
Well, let's pause 1 second.
Go ahead.
How did you meet them? Because, how did you meet Marley and the Juice Crew? And how do you get into that right there? Because that was a crazy lane for you to get. They picked you up as a youngin'. I know it probably was a ton of youngins. Oh, okay, see, there you go. Tell a story. Let me shut up. Go.
They didn't pick me up. What happened was I found out that the Rap Attack show, rest in peace, Mr. Magic, he be coming on and be like, yo, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Mr. Magic, what I'm saying, the Rap Attack. I found out Marley was the DJ for the Rap Attack. And Marley lived across the street. So that's like fucking, the head of Instagram living fucking in your block. Like the head of
right across the street.
Yeah, like that was our Instagram. We didn't have social media back then. You know what I'm saying? So if you got heard on one of them shows, you was the fucking man.
Yeah, like if you knew the DJ on that joint, you was in.
But prior to that, I was getting my ass bust by Mama Love because I would jump out my window because I live right across the street from River Park in Queensbridge. And that's where they would have the jams. So, they be in there and shit spinning. And I'm like, oh, should I catch the fever? Like, I'm like, yo, I got to get on that mic. So I would like put some shit in my bed, like make it look like I was sleeping there, and I jump out the window and I go across the street. And every time I try to get under the ropes, one of them bigger dudes would grab me. Yo, shorty, what you doing? Like, yo, get off me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to that mic. So one day when I went, Marley was actually there. And I remember my man telling me, yo, Marley Marl, yo, that's the Rap Attack guy. He live over. I'm like, word? So I was like, yo, I got to get on the mic, yo. He got to hear me. If he hear me, I know he going to give me a record deal. He's gonna give me a record when he hears what I say. So I dips under the ropes and I gets the mic and I start rhyming.
And this the first time you ever get in the mic too?
Yeah, it's the first time I ever got on the mic. And I sound like a little girl and shit. My voice was all squeaky and I'm like, yo, woke up one morning to my... But I'm going in.
You going in?
I'm going in. I blacked everything out.
Remember the beat? You probably can't remember it.
It was UFO. I remember the first beat I rhymed to. That's why that's something. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh shit! Right.
Boom. I'm going in, but he wound up leaving. Marley, he wound up walking off and leaving, but I didn't care. I went in. I fucking get out in the crowd. My mom's gets on the mic. Anybody see a little kid? She fucking shitted on my whole fucking repertoire.
Blew you up.
But it was well worth it. Best lessons, paid lesson. That was worth it. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even embarrassed. She beat me in front of the whole... When Queensbridge had a jam, the whole project should be there. You talking 96 buildings, 6 blocks.
Shit, everybody there.
I didn't give a fuck. Because after that, everybody was like, yo, that's Shorty right there. Yo, Shorty, get off.
You got this.
But it wasn't getting me progress that I wanted. Anyway, long story long, I found out where Marley lived. This is how I got to the Juice Crew. So I just go to his building, go up to his floor. I found out his door. Sometimes the music be up loud. I'd be knocking for 10 minutes. I ain't care. He come to the door. Yo, what's up? Yo, you Marley Marl? Yeah, what's up? Yo, I rhyme. My name Tragedy. He be like, all right. Yo, you need to hear me. He be like, I'm busy right now. Come back. You tell me some day to come back, and I'd come back. And this went on for months. Sometimes he tell me to come back, and I just sit on the steps for like an hour or two. I ain't give a fuck. And I go knock on the... One day, man, that's why it's important to show up. Yo, showing up is important. You know what I'm saying? It was one day that I was like, man, I'm tired of this dude shitting on me, man. Who the fuck he think he is? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what up, shorty? Oh, shit. Yo, come in. I'm like,
come in. Huh?
Oh, so he was twisting up, matter of fact. He was twisting up a little blunt shit. So he was like, yo, what you got? I was like, yo, play a beat. I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, shit. I never seen the studio. I'm like, oh, shit. This shit is fucking...
So this in the projects?
Yeah, it's in his sister crib at the time. So I'm like, oh, shit. Look at this shit. Like, yo, we got the beat machine. Look at all these records. Like, I was just fucking zoned out. So he like, yo, the mic over there. So I was like, yo, you gonna put a beat on? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna put a beat on. He hit the little... It was a rolling. I don't remember the rolling shits, the little silver shits like this big.
Mm-hmm.
The beat come on, I'm like, oh shit, I got a little nervous. Then I just closed my eyes.
Was anybody else? Just you and Marley? Or was a couple of people in
It
there?
was just me and Marley and one of his mans. It was one of
But no artists and all.
Nah, his man Mitt. Mitt passed away too. Mitt was me, Marley, and Mitt. Never forget that shit. And I just went in and he was like, "Oh shit, all right," because I just would write rhymes. I would write songs with hooks, but I wrote more just rhymes. Like, so I would have like it'd probably be like 3 songs in one rhyme. And I just would keep, you
Keep going, right? You don't know nothing about structure.
You ain't got nothing else better to do but write the shit and remember it. You ain't doing homework. You ain't listening to nobody. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you do it.
Doing what the fuck you want to do, like at that age. So, you know what I'm saying? He's like, "Yo, the fuck, when you gonna stop?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And that, that was it. He put me on the Juice Crew song, Juice Crew All Stars, and from there, I did another song called Live Motivator, and a song called The Rebel Is Here. But and he kept telling me, "Yo, listen, it's gonna just be patient. You're gonna get your time. You're gonna get your moment. Watch." And it seemed like that's another thing about showing up. Like I want to convey to a lot of artists out there, like, it's a price for this shit, man. It's a lot of sacrifice and discipline. And not to make excuses, but I'm a young kid. I'm the oldest. My mom's is on Rikers Island. And
now, how old are you at this time?
Probably about 13, 14.
14, 15.
At first, yeah. So, my mom's had caught a bid. My mom's got locked up for transporting. So my mom's is on Rikers Island. She had to do 6 months. So at this time, I'm the oldest. I got 3 little sisters and shit and a little brother. So, I had to feed them. I had to take care of them.
Right.
So, while he's talking this, just be patient shit, I'm like, I gotta eat and I gotta braid 3 girls' hairs and like they was going to school and I was paying the bills and nobody knew my mom was gone.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you holding it down.
Yeah, officially. So, I'm like, damn, all right, cool. But I'm doing little bullshit to get bread. And I got, years go by now as I'm doing this. I'm trying to hold on. My mom's comes home. She get into some other shit. Then my pops gets locked up. He goes to Clinton. He caught 7 years. So now shit is like, I'm like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And, my teachers is like, yo, you're a good kid. What happened to you? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I gotta fucking eat. Good kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to school no more. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, I'm a fucking A student though. I'm busting school. I would bust school out like it was nothing. It was nothing to me. But I got caught up in shit, and just when I got caught up, that's when they got the deal for Juice Crew. I was in Elmira, and nigga was like, "Yo, shorty, your name ain't Tragedy. Tragedy's on this fucking tape." I'm like, "Yo, send that tape down." He fucking threw it. Put in the sheet, send it down to me in the kite, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He boomerang the ooh-ah, I catch the ooh-ah, and I'm like, oh shit, these niggas did it.
So you did it, huh?
They did it, man, they fucking did it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wasn't.
So you heard that first joint, when you in the joint, you get the tape, you put it on?
I didn't even listen to it. I'm gonna keep it Greenberry. I ain't even listen to it. I was crushed. I felt, at that point, I hate to say it, I hated hip-hop. I was crushed. I was like, holy shit, I gave you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gave you everything, you did this. But I was young and didn't realize life's reality. You know what I'm saying? I put myself in that situation in a sense. And, I had to live with that, the consequence. That's why I was in the symphony video, but I wasn't on the symphony song. And I lived to be on that song. Respect to Craig G, that's my brother. Respect to Master Ace. But I was looking at Kane and G-Rap.
So was you out when that song came out?
When the song came out, no.
I mean, when they recorded it, not when it came out. When they recorded it, was you out or was you locked up when that joint
Bro,
was
I
recorded?
just told you I was locked up.
Okay, right.
So I make the song.
So let me say, so you figure if you was out, you'd have been on that joint? That's what I'm saying.
No question. I would have wrote 100 rhymes just to get the right verse for that song. I lived to be, them niggas was titans to me. Like I said, I love Craig G. Me and Craig G's the same age. I was a little nigga that was an older nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I gotta smash Kane and G-Rap. I gotta smash them. I have to smash them. Like, I love them. Those my brothers, my big brothers.
But you looking on a competition, you on that.
I want to be better. I gotta eat you, man. I have to eat you. And I'm gonna eat you. That's how I felt. I probably wouldn't have did it, but I would have came close.
But you saying, man, you missed that shot to be on that classic song, because that song right there.
Yeah, I mean, technically, man, and this is not to take nothing from First of all, I want to say shout out to Marley. He taught me how to hop the train style, man. Once he taught me the dynamics of certain things, I've survived off that and thrived off that since. You know what I'm saying? And peace to Marley, man. Marley is responsible for like 85% of hip hop.
True.
Production wise. Because he was the first to sample his own drum patterns. Think about
That's
it.
how he did it.
So we heard with it, that's all.
So you see the first to sample his drum patterns.
Yeah, and because Marley started off as what they would call now a house producer. They called it electronic back then. He didn't even want to do hip hop per se.
No, he was first doing R&B, whatever.
No, it was like electronic type of music. So he had a different kind of understand for sound quality. That's why when he started sampling the fucking drum patterns, them shits was sounding so crispy and tight. Like the boom, boom, boom. With the bridge, them records was like,
Yeah, them boom bats. That shit
they was cinematic because and epic because of the sound quality, and he was sampling his own drum patterns. Nobody did that prior to him. Like just like fucking George Clinton is, responsible for fucking 85% of West Coast hip hop because they all built off those pillars and foundation of his funk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Marley on the East Coast was that to which George Clinton was to the West Coast. If you heard a Dre song that was a hit, somewhere there was an element, an intricate cell of George Clinton. Whether it was boom, 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 1, 2. That's fucking George Clinton. Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying? This is all science. So, the Juice Crew, they come out with this symphony, and technically when you look at it, Salute to Kane, G-Rap, Roxanne, Shan, a group has a project, right? A group has a project. That's why people be like, yo, when the Juice Crew went here, why you wasn't there after I came home? I wouldn't feel bad about it because the Juice Crew became more of a title in the label more so than it was actually a group. They only had one song. What group has one song? They have projects together. Because deals came and, dudes who went their separate ways.
Right.
Tragedy, Gaddafi in the building, man.
Tell Jehulam.
He's dropping knowledge, dropping gems, hip hop jewels.
History.
You know what I mean? And we love it. We all ears, man. All ears.
Yo, imagine if he rhymed with that voice. Ew, right?
Yes.
Hey, man, listen.
Your shit is omniscient.
Yeah. Hit a hook. Yeah.
Hey, man. I'm around.
I'm gonna have to get you on something. Talk to me. I'll talk back.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
man. We in the building, though. Hey, man. So, you done broke my train of thought now. But all right, classic album, bang, bang, bang. You doing this, you doing that.
You get your deal. When you say Marley telling your chance gonna come, you come home, you get and they give you a chance to get your deal. Cause you got to feed the fam. You think you rushed it or whatever, or you think
No, let's not jump around.
Okay.
By the time I came home, there was no fam. My fucking brothers and sisters, my mom's got her shit together. She went to a rehab. She bought a house in Columbus. They lived out there. My plan was to come home and go to Columbus because I told you I fucking hated hip hop.
oh, so you was through? You was like that on type tip? You was like done?
Yeah, I felt crushed. Like I'm a little dude, but I felt like a man. Like I was living like I was a man out there. So to me, like I felt like I was like the age I am now or some shit. And I was like, yo, it's over. I'm done.
Retired.
I really thought like that. Like it's bugged out. But so I tried to get paroled from New York State. I was in Binghamton in Elmira State Prison. And I tried to get my parole release to Columbus, Ohio, where my mom was at, and they wouldn't take me. And I had to go back and get parole, so I had to find an address. When you getting out, you gotta get that. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I got paroled to my aunt's crib in Queensbridge, which wasn't maybe the best situation at the time. She was still doing things and shit. It was crazy. So I wound up going back to Queensbridge, and I was trying to go to school because mind you, when I got incarcerated, I just got out of fucking junior high school. I never even been to high school. So I went from junior high to upstate New York. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna go to school and shit. And I'm gonna go to college and shit. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was like, I'm gonna go to fucking college and shit. You know what I mean? So I came home and I started going to school and I met this teacher. Shit is crazy. His name was Derek Ignatius Talbert. That was his fucking name. He's a black dude too. But he was ill. And it's ironically, he knew me and 3 other dudes who became legends. And one of them was True Master from Wu-Tang and the other one was Large Professor. And so he became my like instructor because I was like, yo, all right, I'm gonna take the GED program. I'm gonna get the GED. I'm gonna save me some time, and then I'm gonna go into the college, right into the college program. And it was a thing they had for, you know, recently released incarcerated dudes. So you could take the GED, depending on how you score on that, they would pay for you to go to college. So I was like, I'm gonna do that shit. So he was one of my instructors. So somehow or the other, we got on the topic of hip hop, and I was like the dude then that a lot of youngins say OGs are now. I was like, man, fuck that. Oh, he sucks. I was like, I hated everybody. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, yo, nah, hip hop is. I was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I was like burnt, scorned. So, you know, somehow me and him just started vibing, and he saw that I like to read on the low, so he would hit me with books and shit, right? So he's hitting me with books and shit, and like I'm really getting into this shit. And I start writing little shit on the low, but I wouldn't tell nobody, right? So now Marley pulls up on me. So he's like, yo. I'm like, yo, man, why you ain't fucking write me and come see me, nigga? Like, he's like, nah, I got you. He's like, yo, you was writing? And I started to say no, but he had a red 525 and shit. And no, I'm serious, man. A new car, my nigga, like for me, that shit smelled different. Like, I never smelled new leather in the car. So when I stuck my head in the window and was about to tell him no, I was like, yo, this shit is sexy. I was like, yeah, I was writing. I was like, yeah, I was writing. So he was like, that's what's up. I was like, yo, when you get this? He was like, a lot has changed. And I was like, I see. So he was like, yo, take my number. He wrote it down, gave it to me. He was like, yo, I'm going to bring you to the house upstate. I'm like, now mind you, I told you when I went to his crib, he lived with his sister.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it was a studio apartment. So imagine a room like this where somebody's living and it's studio like this. It's a whole bunch and mad records. Like, it was no space. So now I'm like, yo, you got a house upstate. Like, yo, nigga, you made it. This nigga made it. And so a few days later, I ended up going to the crib. It was in Spring Valley, New York. You know, basement, you know, upstairs. But that shit looked like the MGM Ranch, my nigga. You know, you pull in the garage, nigga hit the shit, the garage. I'm like, damn, this nigga is eating. He had a bullshit Cougar. He had the Cougar shit. That shit was fucked up, too. And I'm like, this nigga got the 850, the 525. And I'm like, yo, the 850 looking like a rocket. And I'm like, yo, I need that shit, man. I was like, I got to write some shit. I gotta lie.
It's music,
I'm going to lie right now. I've done work for far little. So we go up in the crib and shit. And he's showing me around. He's like, yo, this Studio A, this Studio B. I'm like, no. So then he goes, oh, you can stay up here in this room. I'm like, oh shit, word.
There it is.
It's like that. So I started staying up there, and but I still wasn't really locked in. And I met a dude named Joe Fatal who ended up being my DJ, and long story with that. But he was like, yo, man, I went to a show, G-Rap had a show and shit, and I went to the show. And the dude Joe Fatal was like, yo, you tragedy? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but I'm bugging out because I'm like, how you know me? Because I'm not on the Marley Marl album. And you know, back then, like I said, it wasn't no social media. So the streets knew me though. But there wasn't no social media for a nigga to give you a like and be like, you know, a comment.
Right.
So if you wasn't circulating in the streets, mind you, I was in jail for a couple years. You don't know
They talking. She's just talking.
So he like, yo, nah, I'm like, yo, you know my shit? Like, so he's like, yeah, come on. So he took me, he had a car too. He's a young nigga with a car. I'm like, oh shit, you got cars and shit? You know what I mean? You same age as me. He got cars. So he drove me to Harlem. Now remember the backdrop shits when you go to Harlem? It'll be Mickey Mouse and the fucking with a rope chain on and shit.
Right.
You know, they say fucking dollar bill on it. Or that,
Take your picture and shit.
Or whatever the top song was, they would have a backdrop. This is how primal my shit was. To me, if you had that, you fucking made it. Ain't that shit corny? And he took me, this shit is so sad. So he took me and shit, and it had a backdrop, and it said Live Motivator. And I said, like, that shit almost made me cry.
I made it.
I'm dead ass. I was like, yo, they didn't forget me.
I got a
like,
backdrop.
So then inside, it starts stirring again. And, you know, so forth and so on. I wound up staying at Marley's crib. He had his phone book on the SSL board. This is like $1 million board at the time.
Uh-huh.
Remember back in the days, like the mixing board was like the size of this fucking table and bigger. It's called an SSL board, and he had his phone book on there. You know, that's when it wasn't cell phones. He had one in his car. And I said, oh shit, that's that nigga phone book. Imagine who he got in his phone book. So I picked up the phone book. And I see Russell Simmons. I see some names in there. But it was one name in particular that got my attention. Remember when I told you when I came home and I saw that PE video? And it was Chuck D's number in there. So I wrote the number down and put the phone book back. Because I want to know who the fuck is this nigga talking about? Who the fuck is Huey Newton? How much drugs this nigga sold would make him official? How many niggas he killed that he so official? Who is Joanne Chesimard? Who is Asada? What make this fucking chick so official? She shot something? She got money with shit? Why is he talking about them with such a honorarium behind it? I don't understand this shit. So I'm calling this nigga up. He picks up the phone. Hey, what's up? I'm like, yo, listen, man, let me ask you a question. Get right to it.
Damn. Random call.
I'm still like that. I just learned how to tone it down because you can be offensive to people. I'm very aggressive. Super aggressive. I'm a Leo. I'm super aggressive. Yo, what are you talking about? Who's H-Rap Brown, man? He laughed and he started going in. That's why I love Chuck D. I love him. So he starts explaining to me the different highlights that these people did and shit. And I'm like, yo, they made free lunch? Oh, shit. I lived off of free lunch. I didn't know these niggas made free lunch. The reason why you can go in the clinic and get health care is because of the Black Panthers. The reason why there's speed bumps that a lot of us don't like is because of the Black Panthers, because black people would ride through our neighborhood and just knock our kids down and kill them like it was nothing.
Wow.
Because they wouldn't put street lights up there. It was too much money.
Which
Wow.
dog is telling the truth?
Huh?
Wishbone saying you're telling the truth.
These is factuals. So, I don't understand how this dude knows that, and I don't know that. Like I said, I thought of myself I was like a man child. I felt like I knew everything because I had too much street experiences. To me, I felt like I know everything. I don't need to know nothing else. And so this dude is throwing it down. Now he starts telling me certain books to get. So between him, bear with me. It's all the makings of what the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
between
right.
him and that teacher, getting in my head and just opening certain shit. I'm like, I start thinking different. I never forget, my man was like, you know, I ain't had no bread. I just come home. So my man is like, yo, take that till you get on your feet. Now there was a time I'm like, oh shit, my nigga. I took it. And I remember walking down the block after I left him, and I looked at the sewer and I threw that shit in the sewer. What? I'm dead ass. I just was like, yo, I'm dead serious.
Wow.
And when I came back and he was like, yo, what's up? I was like, no, son, I just can't do that shit no more. He was like, yo, I understand. I love him. He got killed. Yeah. He got killed while I was doing the war report too. My man Marty and shit, man. Rest in peace to him because, you know, that just shows me, and not to jump around, but I gotta jump around. This is real talk for me. Like, you know, fuck that microwave rap shit. This is organic to me. Hip hop is so many lives that help to make my life up. I had so many teachers, like, and then some of them are not well known. But I just look at it like, imagine how they lived, like what they could have become. Or maybe it wasn't, meant for them to be that. It's all add-ons, man, but it's just so much, man, to me that I cherish because I don't forget brothers like that, and that basically sparked Intelligent Hoodlum, the look, one of the first books I read was the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley, and there's a chapter in that book called Hoodlum. When you start putting the pieces together, you could, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, Malcolm X taught himself. He was what they call an autodidact, a self-taught person. And I grew up thinking like if you didn't get trained or educated this way that you were not necessarily smart or intelligent. But I'm looking at this man and he's shaking the world. I'm not looking at him in real time because obviously he was assassinated, but I'm listening to tapes and reading speeches and I'm like, yo, and I'm seeing how much of a threat he posed just by his words. Just by his words. And I started understanding the meaning of power. Power is not necessarily based upon physical might. When you can make a person aggressive or docile, that's power. And I started to understand that. When they say things like the pen is mightier than the sword, all that shit flew past my ears until I started understanding the command of the English language and how hip hop taught me how to command and redefine the English language. That's power. That's innovation. And that's beautiful. But go ahead, carry on, dog.
That's what I'm saying right there. That's
what it is. That's what it is, man.
That's rap.
Man, like I said, we got Tragedy Gaddafi in the building, man.
Yeah, man.
We here.
I don't want to take up all your time on the joint. I want you to go out and, fuck with the people.
Yourself.
Eat,
Hold on.
drink.
This is Glocawear Radio, right?
This is Glocawear Radio.
So I can step off and eat and then come back and we can get back on the mic?
We could do whatever we want, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
that's power.
Hey, what's your social media? They want to tap in.
My social media is Rap Academy with a 1 behind it, at Rap Academy, and it's also Tragedy 252. That's my social media right now. Sync up with me, you know what I'm saying? Line up with me. We doing some things. I'm gonna come back and talk about that later.
Yeah.
The first one is Rap Academy. RAPACADEMY 1. That's Instagram. My other Instagram is Tragedy 252. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of duplicates and clones, but I'm the one. There's a picture of me with my head down with some yellow shit behind me, man. That's me.
That's him.
Log on, sync on, connect, add on. We alley oop.
It's the God.
That's right.
Salute, man. Salute. We got Tragedy in the building, man.
That's right.
Fucking hip hop is in the building, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Queen's in here.
Hip hop was here before I even came. That's why I'm here.
Say that, then.
It was in the building before I came. That's why I'm here.
Say that, then. All right, man. We see y'all on the other side, man. We're gonna eat and enjoy ourselves for a minute.
Part 2.
Philly, we here. Pull up.